big boy. Are you cold? See me holding these. You see me holding these and these. So you know what that means. It's time for a little bit of pruning. We're out here in the food forest. And if you watched any of our videos over the summer and the spring and all the other stuff, I was talking about how little maintenance I'm gonna have to do out here. Today I'm gonna prove it because I'm really not gonna do much. Now, before I go any further, folks, it's exciting because tomorrow at about 11 a.m. Eastern time, I am going to have on with me the great Stefan Subkowiak from the Permaculture Orchard video. He's going to be on there with me, and it's exciting because a lot of what I'm doing out here, I learned from him, and he's going to show you how you can get some of that same knowledge. The only thing that I'm going to worry about doing today, and it's really that simple, is I'm just going to clear the lanes and the lines and any problem children I see that might be a problem later on. So all we're going to do is walk through this aisle. I haven't done anything yet this year. All I'm going to do is walk down each aisle. You're going to follow me, and we're going to find out what the problem children are. All right, right off the bat, I got me a black locust right here, and this is my aisle, as you can tell. I can see this here is going to be a problem. Don't you agree, boy? This is all I got to do. I'm just going to get this one out of the aisle. There we go. We're going to chop this, and I'm going to lead it this way. And the reason why I got it this way is because any other branches I chop off, I'm going to lay on top of that, and I'm going to drag them all out like I did from the very beginning. Okay, we got another problem child. Same thing, black locust. We got one coming up out of the bottom here. I don't need it there. It's just going to create problems. Bam. And you know what? I got that other one over here. I'm just going to walk over here, throw it in line. You want to make sure you got some stiff gloves when you're messing with some of these thorny things, whether it's a black locust, honey locust, anything like that. Look, you can see this thing's a problem. So this is all I'm going to do. These two here, out you go. Who needs you anyway? And then over here on the side, there we go. There's really not much more of a problem, but you know what? I don't like it. So it's going out anyway. Get right up on there. And off we go. So now, looks pretty doggone clear through here. Okay, let me get this over in the next batch. I'm gonna walk down this aisle and we'll see what else we got. Okay, here we go. Here's that pear I got on the discount rack. As you can see, it's going down the aisle. That's the only things basically I'm gonna trim. There's other things I could do right here, but look, that's part of the idea of having a food forest, especially a tactical food forest like the one I have here. I'm just gonna use something else, and I'm gonna make sure I'm on this side of the healing collar, and I'm gonna get you out of there. All right, I would have damaged up some barking. You see that pile over there that I started? Bam. I could do more to it. I can get rid of all this stuff here. You know what? I'm telling myself I'm just gonna let this thing go, but you know what? I don't like it. So I get to call the shots down here. You got to go. And we're gonna get rid of you right here. Now the way Stefan teaches it, it's not a bad thing necessarily if you got branches that hang to the ground, but I don't want anything slapping me in the face because I'm out here doing what I got to do. Right now I don't see any other, well, this one here could be a problem. So like he teaches, when in doubt, cut it out. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do right here. Here's the beauty about coming both ways. I didn't even see this as a problem when I walked down this way, but here it is, all gone. And I'm just gonna let this thing go as it is because, like I said, this is ultimately a demonstration site of a tactical food forest. This one could be a problem, but I'm just gonna leave it. And I think I'm gonna leave the rest of them, so I'm gonna keep on trucking. Alrighty, so another black locust. You can see where I cut it all the way back a couple of years ago, and then up here is where I did a little pollard numbered on it last year. You know what, I'm just gonna let it go because it's gonna add to the wild looking nature. There's nothing in the aisle to speak of, at least nothing too much to concern myself with. But I will say that when you're doing a black locust, because these things aren't exactly known for breaking down. And you see these little spikes on there? Yeah, this ain't the place you want to do any grounding, you dig? All right, this is that same black locust on the other side. Man, I could really take a whole lot out of this. But right now, I'm just gonna get rid of the stuff in the line and in the lane. There's nothing in the lane, but I'm gonna basically go back to my other one right here. And like I said, with the black locust, man, you can absolutely abuse this sucker and he's still gonna come back. And the cool thing is, these, in the worst case scenario, these are the trees I can afford to lose. In fact, down here, and I talked about it last year, the only trees we lost to voles down here, believe it or not, with the black locust that got hit up, you know, because I didn't feel like I needed to go ahead and put any bone sauce on them. So, is it science yet? No, it hasn't yet to be replicated, but here we go. We'll just keep on trucking. You are being a high maintenance puppy, you know that? This ain't too much of a problem, this peach here. Well, heavens to Murgatroyd, what do we got growing out in the middle here? Black locust. Here's our productive fruit tree over here. And then almost, I mean, pretty close to the same mulch ring, you see a black locust. Is that a problem? Well, it's a problem for me because it's going down the middle of the aisle. But I am going to go ahead and take it out. We got two schools of thought when I go ahead and I prune a nitrogen fixer like that. One school says, okay, when you do that, it's going to self-prune its roots. And it's going to be to the benefit of that productive tree that I like. The other school of thought is that that tree is telling all the roots there, oh snap, we had an issue. I need you guys to put out a bunch of exudates to attract all the beneficial microbes that are going to help me regrow next season. Who's right? I don't know. It could be a combination of both, but all I know is that my trees benefit greatly when I do this very thing. I'm going to take it about right here and I get it out of my lane, and if it wants to come back, it's okay. Well, I gotta say it's a little bit different, my lips ain't working. It's a little difficult sometimes knowing that as I'm walking through here, I'm stomping all over strawberry. You know, I will say that over there I saw some rabbit poop. So naturally somebody's gonna say, hey, are you having any rabbit problems? Well, we took all the tree guards off of here because we noticed that, you know, the bone saw seemed to be doing the trick. And so far, there's not any damage on anything. Even though the rabbits, I don't know what they're eating, but it ain't this bark. And that's a good problem. Well, the problem is the solution. So if it comes to it, things get totally stupid. There's so many rabbits out here. Look, I don't even have to take out any of these sheep to put meat in the freezer. All right. So more black locust. It's not a problem. It's not in the lane, but there's two of them popping up there. I'm just going to take that one out over here so I don't damage anything. And then once again, throw it that way. Keep on trucking. Ugh. This is in the lane, so we'll go back and take it out. Here's the fence line over here. I want you to notice something. You see these tall grasses right here? Some people call it Chinese silvergrass. It has a bunch of different grasses, but it was one of those grasses that was brought in by the government. Highly intrusive. Nothing eats it unless you got water buffaloes running around. The reason it stops here and the reason why it's not encroaching on my property, but it's staying on the easement, is because the higher fungal content of this area is making this stuff realize you can't stay here. You can see that demarcation point where it stops, because basically from the fence over, which is mine, is absolutely becoming more and more and more fungal. And that's exactly what we want in a food forest or an orchard system. In an open pasture, we're essentially going to want a 50-50 mix of bacteria and fungi. Well, when you get into systems like this, you're going to want that fungi much, much higher than your bacteria. And this stuff thrives in areas where the bacteria is very high, compaction's nasty, the whole 9 yards. So you can see the demarcation point literally up and down this fence. Man, that's what is such a joy about doing this job, is when you can see the recovery, because all of this looked like that. So the only thing left to do is clean up the mess. Now, if these weren't black locusts, I would basically clip them up in place and put them right on that mulch ring. But look, you'll notice that all of them are in a straight line. That's one of the cool time-saving tips that you'll learn from my man Stefan. So easy as pie, just walk right out with it, and I'm gonna throw it in the back of my truck. All right, y'all, thank you so much. Check us out on Patreon. Check out the podcast called the Permaculture Pimpcast, where PIMP stands for Permaculture is my passion. All right, y'all, we'll see y'all tomorrow, and thank you so much for your support.